Hello everyone, my name is Aliar and you're watching TecTalk. So as you all know that previously we have started a Python course on TecTalk. So today we have talked about multiple concepts in Python. We talked about print statement, we talked about strings, we talked about numbers, we talked about if conditions, we talked about if else conditions. So today we are going to talk about some more concepts from the same book, An Easy Way to Learn Python. So let's get into the screen and see today's lesson. So today we are going to talk about testing a set of conditions. So sometimes what happens that we need to test multiple conditions for performing some task or some function in our project. So that's why we really need to test multiple conditions. So that's what we call testing multiple sets of conditions to process something. So let's read something from their book. Using if statement, you have learned to test for a condition. If the condition is met, one or more statements execute. But suppose not one but two conditions have to be met in order for a test to succeed. So previously we have tested just one condition, and now if we want to test multiple conditions to process something, then we need to test multiple conditions in the program. So let's get into the code part. So for example, I have a condition where I want to check that if a person is from USA and if a person has a passport of USA and he is more than 18 years old, then I want to give him visa or tourist visa. So these I need to check two conditions. If he is from USA and his age is more than 18 years. So what I can do is, first of all, I need to define his age. For example, his age is 18 years old, or let's say 20 years old, and his nationality, let's say nationality is equals to USA. So for example, these two conditions met, and I want to check these two conditions for every student. So what I can do is, if I want to say that age is more than 20 years, as well as nationality is equals to um, let's say USA. So what I did is I want to test that if the age is above 18 years old, and if he is from United States of America, I want to print that we can I want to print that we can uh, we can give him visa, tourist visa, right? So see, we are checking two conditions here. The first condition is that he must be 18 years old or more than 18 years old and older than 18 years old, and he should be from USA. Then we are going to give him visa. Otherwise we are not going to allow him the tourist visa. So if I run this function now, if I run this function, do you think that it will print the print statement that we have put here? So let me save it, and Python lesson 3, let's say lesson 1 2 3. See, we got the message that we can give him tourist visa. Now let me let me change the age parameter and see that if it can give us the print statement or not. So let me give the print statement to be 18 or 18 years or 17 years old, and save it and run it. I'm not going to get the print conditions because one of the condition is false here, and therefore it did not give me the print statement. So it is called AND condition. You must have read about in electronics. I mean, there are the concept of gates in electronics, so that's AND gate. So it's the concept of AND condition. I'm saying that if both are the conditions are true, then do something, otherwise don't do something. Although I have this condition fulfilled, but I have this condition not fulfilled, that's why I did not get this message. So this is the concept of AND in Python, to check multiple conditions. So I can also check multiple conditions here. So there is another condition which is called OR condition, right? Which is called OR condition. In OR condition, what happens in OR conditions, if there are two conditions and any of the conditions is true, then it's going to function properly or execute the block that is there. For example, if I want to say that if either he is from USA or he is more than 18 years old, then I want to give him the visa. So if I change this into R instead of and, then I'm going to get this print statement printed. We can give him tourist visa message on the screen. Why? Because we now testing or condition. In or condition, what happens that if one of these conditions is true, I'm going to print this message on the screen. So what happens is here that this condition is true. Nationality is equals to USA. So this condition is true. So here I can say that this condition is going to give me, for the sake of understanding, true, and this condition is going to give me false. So I have got one true. It means that if we have or condition and if we got one condition true, then we are going to get into this print statement. Otherwise we are not going to get into this statement. So if I make both conditions false, for example, if I put here Indian, let's say Indian, so and if I'm going to run this condition, I'm not going to get the message. So it means that in end condition, both of the conditions, or however many conditions are there, they all needs to be true, right? They all need to be true. But in or condition, if any of the given conditions is true, it's going to print the message. It's going to execute whatever is there in that particular block. So I hope you understood the concept. So this is the concept of testing and or condition. So similarly, you can test multiple conditions if he is 18 years old and he's from USA, and if he's holding the passport of a particular state in the United States, then we are going to give him the visa. So you can test multiple conditions through and or conditions in Python. This is a very simple concept of testing multiple conditions in just one line. So let's see what's the concept. So see, same here. It says that if the weight is greater than 300 pounds and the time is less than 6 minutes or 6 hours, then I'm going to give him the status to recruit him. For example, if I want to recruit somebody, I want to see that if his grade is more than 90% and he's studied from a particular university, and his blood group is not tested negative or positive for corona or something like that. So if I want to check multiple conditions, I'm going to use if and or conditions. So it depends on my case, that which case I want to test, whether I want to test the conditions through and condition or whether I'm going to test these conditions through or conditions. So these are two major set of conditions that we can check in Python through if statement. So there are other examples. You can follow the book. For example, if the weight is more than 300 and the time is less than 6 and his age is more than 17, then and his height is grade less than 72, then I'm going to recruit him or try to recruit him. So this is the basic concept of checking multiple conditions through and statement. Like, of course, I'm sure that there are or conditions as well. So in and, I have told you that in end conditions, if we are taking it through and condition, then I want every condition here to be true. If I have put and here and and here and and here, it means that I want all the conditions to be true. And if I'm using or instead of and, then I want any of the condition. Like if one of the condition is to be true, then I want to give him, I want to welcome him, or I want to execute some particular set of statements under this block. So this is the concept of setting multiple conditions in Python. So there are multiple examples given. You can practice for yourself. For example, we can combine these two or and end conditions to check multiple conditions. For example, he says that if his age is greater than 60 years old and or his age is less than 21 years and residents of UK, if he's from US, UK, and his age should be greater than 65 or less than 21. So these two are the conditions, and he must be from USA. So I want one of the conditions to be true in this case, in this condition, and I want this condition to be true all the time. So I want these two conditions to be true. For example, if the age is more than 21 years old, so 21 years is of course greater than 21. If I have 25 years, the age is greater than 21, but it is not greater than 65. So it's going to give me false. So if I get false here and true here, I'm not going to get into this block, because if I'm using and here, then I want these two conditions to be true. I know it's very complicated, so let me explain it to you. Let's get this the same condition. So let's say I have the age, I am fulfilled. Sorry for my spellings. Let's say age is 31. Okay, age is 31 years, and resident is equals to the UK, u dot k dot. Okay, so what do you think? Will it print the statement here? What do you think? I don't think it will print the statement. See, it did not print the statement. Why? Because this condition I got false here. This condition is false. This condition is false, and this condition is true, right? Why? He is from UK, that's why this condition is true, but his age is not greater than 65, or his age is not less than 21, because his age is 31, right? So that's why if I want one of these conditions to be true, then I can do this 67, 67. If I give 67, what do you think it's going to give me, the message or not? It is going to give me the message, because sorry, I didn't say right. It's going to give me the message. Why? Because his age is greater than 65. This condition is true, and if this condition is true, this whole condition is going to be true, and this is already true. So we got two truths, on the both side of and. That's why I am in the print statement. So if I change this to USA, I'm not going to get the message printed. Why? Because I now got this one false and the other one right, so I did not get the message. So I hope this makes sense. So let's move on to the next lesson. Okay, now let's talk about comments. This is a very simple concept in Python, and we really so now let's talk about comments in Python. So in different programming languages, there are different techniques, or there are different ways to comment, but in Python it's very easy. So you see that I have put hash or this sign here. It means that I want the Python interpreter to ignore these messages. Whatever these messages are, just whenever Python interpreter sees this, is going to understand that this whatever is written here is not to be compiled or is not to be interpreted to the machine language. Of course, it is not going to entertain this. So in Python, there are two kind of comments that we use. The first is single line comment. For example, you see here that I have used this sign, the hash sign. For example, if I use this sign, the hash sign that we get from 3 in the keyboard. So whenever we use this sign and write something, the Python interpreter or the compiler understands that I am not going to entertain or compile these lines or these statements, because these are just for understanding the code. So why do we need this? For example, I have written this logic in my code, and there are other developers in the company who also check this code. So definitely there are different logics that you can use. Different developers have different approach writing code and different way of writing the code. So it's very complicated when you read your code after some days or after even months. So you yourself will not be able to understand your own written code, so let alone the codes of other developers. So for understanding or for the readability of the code, or for the understanding the logic built by the developer, comments are very important. For example, I have written here that I, in this block of line below, block of code is testing multiple conditions. That's it. And I can write whatever I want, but I can write in a single line. I cannot write multiple lines as a comment. So whenever I want to write multiple kind, what I can do is three signs. Okay, so I can use these codes. Whatever I will write between these two lines, it means these are going to be comments. I can write whatever I want, and if I print this, if I run this, I'm not going to get any message. Why? Because these are comments. These are ignored by compilers. For example, I write print statement, and then I'm going to write I am a comment. I am a comment. So if I run this file, I'm going to get the message printed on the screen because it is a proper print statement. But when I convert it into a comment, I'm giving here a hash sign. It means that I'm telling the Python interpreter or compiler to ignore this one, and it is not going to print me anything on the screen. So that means that comment are always ignored by the compiler or the interpreter. So there are, you can use this sign, but if you want, if you're a shortcut lover like me, you can comment anything using the following the buttons on your screen: control and forward slash, and it's going to give you comment. So these are single line comments and these are multiple line comments. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.